Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back to OPRC class. Let us get started our class by paying respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Once again, good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. Today we are moving on to another stanza appearing in the Arahanta Varga. As you can see, it is going to be stanza number 94. And today is OPRC day 112. So let us take a look at the stanza. Before we move on to the stanza, I would like to remind you again that the stanzas that we have been discussing over the last couple of weeks, they are about arahants, enlightened, awakened beings. And what we are trying to learn is that the nature of arahants, because sometimes we may have a very different understanding about arahants. So we can know how they respond, how they uh, mean to the Buddha Sasana, and especially through the stories. I think that's one of the very important pieces of the stanzas. So with that in mind, let's read the stanza. Yasindriyani samatang gatani asayata saratina sudanta pahinamanas anasavas devapitas pihayanti tadino. Yasindriyani samatangatani asayata saratina sudanta pahinamanas anasavas devapitas pihayanti tadino. So much to learn about all these Pali words. They carry different contextual meanings. All right, so now we will be asking groups to read. First, we would like to ask from group one. Yes, Pauline, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Sukhi Hotu. Yasa indriyani samantan gatani asayata saratina sudanta pahinamanasa anasavasa devapitasa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And then we'll be asking from group two. Yes, group two, May Uy, please.
Evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasindriyani samata gatani asayata saratina sudanta pahinah manasa anasawasa dewapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. And group four. Chupin, are you from group four?
Group 3.
Okay, I'll give you the chance later. Is that okay?
Adik nak Bhante?
Group 3 was done already, right?
I'm group 3.
Oh,
Now
group
we are
group
group
3.
three.
Okay, Chupin, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yas indriyani samatang gatani asayata saratina sudanta pahina manasa anasawa. Pahina manasa anasawasa Dewapi tassa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 4, KPI, yes.
Good evening, Bhante.
Evening.
Yasindriyani Samatan Gatani. Asayata Saratina Sudanta. Pahina Manasa Anasa Wasa. Devapi Tasa Pihayanti Tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 5, yes, Melinda, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasindriyani Samanta Gatani Asayata Saratina Sudanta Pahinama Nasa Anasa Vasa Dewapi Tatsa Pihayanti Tadino.
Tadino.
Tadino. Thank you, Bhante.
Great. And group 6, yes, same form, please.
Yasindriyani Samata Katatni Asayata Saratina Sudanta Pahinama Nasa Anna Sawasa Devapi Tasa Vihayanti Tadino.
Okay, great. And group 7, yes, Hema, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yas idriyani samatan gatani. Asa yata saritina sudanta. Bahina masa manasa anasawasa. Dewapi tasa bahinyanti tadito. Tadino.
Devapi Tassa.
The last line is it?
Last line.
Dewapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Yeah, Pihayanti Tadino. Okay,
Yeah, pihayanti tadino. Thank you, Bhante.
great. And group 8, Doris, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasindrani Samatan Gatani Asa Yata Saratina Sudanta Pahina Manasa Anasavasa Devapi Tasa Pihayanti Tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Right now, I would like to ask others to read. Anyone who would like to read, please raise your virtual hand. I'll be letting you read, please. First, we will ask from TC. TC, please.
Thank you. Yas idriyani samatan katani. Asa yata saratina sudanta. Pahina manasa anasawasa. Dewapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Ochuo, please.
Good evening, Bhante. Thank you. Yasindriyani samatangatani yassa yata saratina sudanta. Asa. Sorry?
Asa.
Okay. Asa yata saratina sudanta. Pahina manasa anasawasa dewapi tassa vihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And then, Oi, please. Oi.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasindriyani Samatan Gatani. Asa yata saritina sudanta. Pahina manasa anasawasa. Dewapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Jenny.
Yeah. Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasindriyani samatang gatani. Asa yata saratina sudanta. Pahina manasa anasa wasa. Dewapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And then, Nine check, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasindriyani samatang gatani asayata saratina sudanta pahina manasa anasavasa deva pitasa vihayati tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Chin Chin, yes.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasindriyani samatan gatani. Asa yata saratina sudanta. Pahinama nasa anasavasa. Devapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And Lisa,
Good evening, Bhante.
good evening.
Yasindriyani samatan gatani. Asa yata saratina sudanta. Bahi namanasa anasavasa. Devapi tasa bihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
And
Bhante.
Champaklan, yes.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasindriyani samatan gatani. Asa yata saratina sutanta. Pahina manasa anasavasa. Dewa pitasa bihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. And Ku Evelyn, yes. Ku, I cannot hear you. I don't know whether others can hear you too. Let's see. Can others hear her? Oh, okay. Maybe you can check your microphone. It looks like, yes. No, I don't think we can hear you. Maybe something is happening with your microphone. You want to try the microphone? So I will ask the others. I'll come back to you again. Please check your mic in the meantime. Okay, and then Cindy, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasindriyani samanta gathani. Asayata saratina sudanta. Pahinamas nasa anasavasa. Devapi tesa pihayanti tadino.
Devapi.
Devapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Then, Fu is Emma.
Milin. I didn't
Yes, Milin,
change.
please.
Yeah, hi,
I
Bhante.
read the renaming.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Okay. Yasindriyani samantan gatani. Asa yata saratina sudanta. Pahinama nasa anasavasa. Dewapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Okay, thanks, Bhante.
And then Margaret.
Evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasindriyani samantan gatani. Asa yata saratina sudanta. Pahinamanansa anasavasa. Devapi tasa pihayanti tadino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Seri, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening. Yes.
Yasindriyani samata gatani. Asa yata saratina sudanta. Pahina manasa anasa vasa. Dewapi tasa piha yantita dino.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Right. Anyone else? We may ask Ku Evelyn as well. Were you able to figure out your microphone? If so, you can read too. Oh, there's one. Yes, Lai Chi, please. You can read.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening. Yes.
Yasi Juyani Samanta Katani. Asa Yanta Salatina Sudanta. Pahina Manasa Anasa Wasa. Dewapi Tasa Pihayanti Tatino.
Hey, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Hey, great. How about who Evelyn? Are you with us? You can try if your microphone is okay. Okay. Like she might not be here. All right. So at this point, we are going to look at the contextual, literal and contextual meaning of the stanza, and then the larger, broader details. Okay. Yasindriyani samatangatani asayata saratina sudanta. Pahina manasa anasavasa deva pitasa pihayanti tadino. So how to find out the meaning? So we have to first take this way. Yassa indriyani. Yassa indriyani saratina sudanta. Yassa indriyani saratina sudanta asayata. Asayata samatang gatan. Okay. Yassa indriyan, one whose sense faculties. Saratina sudanta. Saratina means a charioteer, someone who is driving a cart carried by horses. Sudanta, well-trained, someone who is guiding a carriage, guided by a charioteer. And then asayata, like well-trained horses guided by a charioteer. One whose sense faculties are, at that point, samatang gatan. So it is just like charioteer who is guiding a carriage or maybe a cart that is driven by well-trained horses. If that could be the way, that could be the way in nature, how someone establishes or tames down one's own faculties. So then it says here, samatang gata, sense faculties should need to go to samatha. What does samatha mean here? Samatha?
Calm.
Samatha means?
Calmness.
Calmness. So indriyani should go to, it means sense faculties
Senses.
should go to calmness. Now, there is an interesting point here, that is indriya. What do you think? How does this Pali word come into existence? Indriya. What do you think about it? Indriya? Do you know any meaning with regard to any part of this word other than sense faculties?
Indra.
Indra. Indra means the person that we are discussing in this story. Even though we don't take him as a part of this point, but Indra means sak, another word for sak. So when we say Indra, that means the main person, the head person. So the meaning of the Pali word called Indra means that preliminary main nature of our sensory experience. Because of these six sense faculties, we can interact with the world, outside world. So Buddha says here that our sense faculties should go to samatha. Right? Samatha, as we said, samatha means calmness. What are the other contexts that you know about samatha? Samatha, meditation.
Meditation.
Huh?
Meditation, yeah.
Samatha, meditation. But normally we understand samatha is not basically a meditation. Samatha is a state of the meditation.
Yeah.
Right? As you do any meditation, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, I mean, if you look at the main meditations called satipatthanas, you see that in any of those satipatthana practices, you see that the first layer of the satipatthana meditation is coming into a calmness. So then, that's why the Buddha does not mention about samatha vipassana as meditations under the sammasati. But the overall nature of the first part of any satipatthana exercise is samatha level. That means we have to calm us. Without any calmness, it might be difficult for us to be insightful. Now here, what we understand is that in order for us to go to samatha, this idea called samatha, our sense faculties need to be calm. Okay? How to make our sense faculties calm? How many sense faculties we got? Very basic question, right?
6.
6 sense faculties, right? Eyes, chakku, then ears, sota, then nose, ghana, then tongue,
Jiva.
jiva, then kaya means body, then mind, mano, right? And then these 6 sense faculties are interacting with the external things, objects. What are they? Rupa, sights, saddha,
Sound.
sounds, right? And then gandha, gandha means smells.
Odor.
Then rasa,
Taste.
then
Potaba.
potthamba means
Touch.
touch, and then dhamma
Dhamma.
means mental phenomena or chitta, right? So then, what needs to be calmed down here? Is it the sense faculty or what? I mean, definitely the external objects are coming to us anytime, right? Whatsoever. What should be calm here? The overall experience. The overall sensory experience has to be calmed down. Right? So that's what we are supposed to learn with regard to samatha. We are going to look at Indriya Bhavana Sutta a little bit today to see how it really works. How did the Buddha ask us to practice this sense restraint in the best way possible? But in any way, I just want to say at this point, just like how a charioteer is going to guide the well-trained horses, someone who has this understanding about sense faculties, sensory experience, is going to bring one's sense faculties into calmness, right? Then, pahina manasa anasavasa. Pahina manasa anasavasa. These are 2 aspects of arahants, just like this aspect. It's mainly about arahants. Manasa pahina. Mana means conceit. Pahina. Arahant's mana has been what do you call
Abandoned.
already overcome. Arahants have already overcome their mana. Mana is such a very difficult, challenging fetter. Even Sotapannas carry mana. Even Sakadagamins carry mana. Even Anagamins also carry mana. It is only when someone is going to become an arahant, that person will overcome man. Looks like man is such a very troublesome conceit. I mean, even Sotapannas carry, Sakadagamins carry, Anagamins carry. Now we are primarily looking at Sakkaya Ditthi, ego, Chikiccha, spiritual doubts, Silabhata Paramasa, clinging to rites and rituals, right? And then Kamaraga, right? Obsessive, addicted karmas and particular striking, all these hatred-based stuff, mental states come under that. So these are the main things that people are always thinking, no, mana plays a bigger role in our life, especially with regard to our spiritual life. Right? We will discuss what is mana. What is basically mana? Mana means measuring, sizing up. Right? Do we size up? Do we measure our life? Our life, your secular life, your lay life, your personal life, spiritual life even. Do people do that? People do that, right? People even ask, can you tell me how to measure my spiritual practice? I mean, that was a question that was by somebody a couple of weeks ago. And there's a sutta about it, right? And what about the secular life? Think about that you are spending your daily life and there are certain areas that you don't have a passion about. Think about you are a business person, but you don't have a passion about it. You simply want to survive in that job. But there are people who have passion and do the business. Perhaps they are in the same industry. What would happen to many people who don't have a passion, who don't have that, motivation, passion, but they still do it just to be a part of the survival? They are going to easily fall into jealousy. Yeah, I'm going to be very jealous. Are you going to take over my stuff, my dividends? I feel like I'm very much pushed to the what you call competition. But when people have a passion, they can continue. I'm trying to say that people always measure. Is measuring bad? Until we get to a certain level, we may need a certain healthy comparison, healthy measuring about our progress. Why is it? If not, we may not be able to proceed in the spiritual path, right? So it's important. But when it comes to arahants, they have naturally overcome mana. They don't have to compare. They have gone beyond the comparisons, right? Normally, there are three types of mana. One is Sayyamana. Sayyamana means someone who thinks that I am greater than everybody, I'm superior than everybody. Okay? I am superior. That is Sayyamana. I think I'm going to write it here, otherwise you might not know. Three types of mana. Number one, Sayyamana. I could say, what do you call? Later I will translate Sayyamana, Sadisamana, and Hinamana. Okay. So Sayyamana means the attitude that someone always thinks that I am superior than someone. Maybe I'm greater than someone, I'm better than someone. Sadisamana? What is Sadisa?
Equal.
Thinking that I am equal to someone. Can you think about an example? Oh, even though you are so good, you are from my same school, right? We studied together. Right? Don't try to stand out. We're all together. We done everything together, right? We are colleagues, right? I mean, somebody might say that in a good intention, but sometimes people want to just say those things just to uh, feel them good about with regard to other person's success. Sadisamana means equalizing. Then Heenamana,
inferior, lower.
feeling inferior. Not even feeling inferior. The person is trying to show to other people that I am inferior than. At a point that that person is not inferior actually, right? So then let us talk about the good side of all these manas. Are there any good, healthy side of this good mana? Is there a good, good or maybe a good benefit
Yes.
of Sayyamana? Can you think about an example? What is a point that someone thinks that I am better than somebody, I am greater than somebody, which is not akusala all the time, right? Maybe perhaps it is a way to understand life too. Think about a good example. Someone is going through a pain, okay? Maybe a pain coming from a sickness. And this particular person who has a pain also knows that he or she has a friend who is going through a cancer. And he or she is also aware that that cancer patient is going through chemotherapy and all those things. Then this person, while being compassionate about the friend who is going through the treatments, can think, look at, I had to be grateful for my life. This, what kind of pain is this compared to that person's one? I'm better than this, but I'm grateful for my good karma. That's a good way to look at Sayyamana. But don't make it a mana, but the idea is similar, right? I mean, I had to be grateful to me, right? So sometimes there are people, um, I mean, they are not even thinking about how to be grateful to others, but they are not even grateful to them, right? So that's why it's very important to think that time to time, if there are situations that while you've been compassionate for other people, you might feel that this Seiya idea can be taken in a better way without creating an akusala. But a lot of people make it in an akusala way to feel them good. I'm better than you, I'm greater than you. See how much I can afford, you know, right? See, look at my people. Right? That could be the unwholesome nature. And think about an example of Sadisamana. Sadisamana, Sadis idea. Are there moments in your life you are trying to make you equal to certain beings in a kusala way? Any thoughts about it? Think about you go to the vihara on a full moon day, new moon day, maybe a precept program, maybe a meditation program. How do these meditation programs usually start? They are saying, today you are taking precepts, just like the precepts of those enlightened beings, right? So they are not saying that we are equal to arahants, but we are kind of spending a day similar to their life, right? Similar to their life. Our compulsive eating habits are kind of lower. The way how I look at my life and the life during that retreat or program is very different than how I used to think. So that means sometimes even uh, trying to uh, make that equal thing could be a good thing. But what if that there is somebody who is not doing anything, always trying to, connect to other people just to run away from their achievements, right? Thinking that I am equal to you, you also have it, I also have it, right? That could be a kind of a mana, definitely. What about Hinamana? Is there any good benefit of Hinamana? What is Hinamana? Inferior thinking. What do you think about humility, being humble? Is there a kind of Hinamana? There are people who are doing much better than anybody else, but they don't show off, they don't brag. Is that kind of inferior thinking? No, that is being humble. That means we don't have to show off, we don't have to brag about what we have, even through the Dhamma things. But what is Hinamana? Hinamana means there are people who have achieved things in their life, but they don't accept, they cannot accept, they cannot validate what they have achieved. So they always think we are lower than, we are inferior than. So always not being able to get to that level. So now you understand the thinking is not the problem. How you think about things could be the problem that could take you to mana thing. So arahants are naturally free from mana. So then watch out your mana, right? In your daily life, how you talk to other people, how you engage with other things, right? How you do your work, how you talk to your children, how you talk to your neighbors. All these things are carrying elements of mana that we have to be careful. We have to be mindful about, right? Yes, Jenny, you have a question?
Yeah, Bhante, just want to ask about Hinamana. What if a person always thinks that she or he is inferior to other people? Maybe he's not as good, and with that, he use it as a motivation to always improve himself. Then is that a problem?
No, improving part is a good thing, but what if that he cannot understand that he is on a par with other people? Now, earlier reference to other people, what if that is a lie? What if that is false? Think about someone is thinking that I am not on a par with someone with regard to spirituality, right? So actually, that this person also has come to a certain level in his or her spiritual practice, right? If the reference is incorrect, then that improvement cannot be taken as Hinamana. I mean, a good thing. It could be a Hinamana. If the reference is correct, then there could be provisions, space for that person to make it in a positive way, as you mentioned. But the problem is a lot of people, when they make the reference, that reference is also not factual. If it is not factual, if it is just a perspective only, then I don't think that improvement idea is going to connect to that. Definitely it's a Hinamana. Yes, Sumita?
Yeah, Bhante, how about inferiority complex?
Yeah, that is Hinamana. That is bad.
Yeah,
That's
thank
the
you.
Hinamana, yes. Okay, leave the questions at the end. Huh? All right. So, what we need to understand here is, now we know arahants are free from mana, but how does mana affect us in our spiritual life, in our daily life? That is what we need to understand. We understand we all time to time measure size up. That is pretty normal. But are all these comparisons measuring really worthwhile? Are they spiritually worthwhile? Are they secularly worthwhile? Right? Sometimes there are people who have a lot of opportunities, who have a lot of things, but still think that they are inferior than other people. That means they cannot, or they have not been able to understand their worth. That's why it is said self-worth is very important. Why? If you don't know your self-worth, then you are making a bad, wrong reference to somebody. That means Hinama. Right? It's like making a CV, right? Resume. Right? In the modern world, CV is a way of selling oneself. If you don't know how to make the perfect CV or resume, maybe you may have a lot of qualifications, but you think you don't know how to do it. Right? So that means self-worth is important. If self-worth is truly understood, then there will be no Hinamana perspective. But as I said, if the reference is true, then there are improvements to go. That is true. That's a good way to do it. That is applicable to all the other minds. So overall, what I need to say is that let us truly understand where we are in our life. Let us truly embrace the situation, and then to make some mindful and wise decisions with regard to our life, and not to be a part of Salya, Sadisa, Hina, Mana, even unwholesome way. So Arahants are free from Mana. And then Anasavasa, I think we discussed this Pali word asava, taints, influxes, fermentation. So they are free from asavas. May I know what is asava? I would like to know from you. Asava, we discussed a few days already.
Defilements,
Fermentations,
is it defilements or
influx.
No,
Asian?
asavas are not akusalas. Akusala, defilements are given as kilesas, right?
Yes.
In Pali, there are certain Pali words for akusalas. Now, we know akusala roots, then asavas, then we know upakilesas, impurities, then kilesas, defilements, right? Even if you forget about these English words, you can say akusala moola, asava, then upakilesa, kilesa. Because upakilesas are precursors to kilesas, and then papancha. This is how the akusala process works. So in that understanding, what we learn throughout asavas are fermentations, akusala fermentations, right? So certain discharges, influxes, and there are four influxes. Kamasava, there are akusala discharges that are coming from obsessive, addicted sense desires, and then kamasava, bhavasava. Bhavasava means about the existence, samsara. Then tithasava means fermentations or taints, influxes coming from views, especially wrong views. And then avijjasava. Avijjasava means fermentations, taints,
Ignorance.
influxes which are coming from ignorance. Ignorance means not being able to fully know Four Noble Truths. So definitely, arahants are free from asavas. So arahants bring their sense faculties into samatha, calmness, and they are free from man, and they are free from asavas. That's what we discussed so far. And then this is very interesting. Devapi tassa pihayanti tadino. Right? What does it mean? Tadino tassa deva. Tadino tassa deva pihayanti. Tadino means, now the overall understand, devas admire like such a steadfast one, maybe Tadino one. Have you ever heard this Pali word Tadino? Tadi. This is a Pali word primarily used for Buddha actually. When you learn about the Buddha's qualities, different qualities, not the 9 great qualities. If you learn about the life of the Buddha, you will learn about Tadi quality. Tadi means the quality of not being shaken by the worldly conditions. 8 worldly conditions. Do we have this quality? Sometimes no. Sometimes yes, sometimes. Well, we are struggling, every day. In the morning we're okay, and then afternoon we hear something not happy, and then we try to recover, but sometimes you cannot recover. Sometimes yes. Right? Tadi means being able not to be shaken by any 8 worldly conditions. Actually, this is very interesting because arahants are not shaken by any 8 worldly conditions. I think in the notes I have given, in the other note, I have given the sutta also. The sutta for that is, what is it? See. Yeah, Dutiya Lokadhamma Sutta, AM 8.6. We will discuss that also a little bit later. Now, in the Sutta, Buddha says that ordinary people mean those who have not attained any enlightenment stages. They are going through the effects of 8 worldly conditions every day. So they are being crushed by 8 worldly conditions. What are the 8 worldly conditions? I think better we go to the sutta, right? Then you understand. See the sutta. I'm going to go to the other note just for a moment, just to show that place. If you go to the note, see the point 6. Okay, see, just click on that. It take us to this place. Can you see the sutta here? Should be able to see it, right? Okay, let's see. Attime bhikkave loka dhamma loka anuparivattanti lokocha atta loka dhamme anuparivattanti. Means the 8 worldly conditions revolve around the world, go around the world, and world revolves around the 8 worldly conditions. So, can we see those 8 now? Because during Christmas time we see Santa is going across the world, right? So, can you see these 8 are going around the world now? No, what world does it mean? Panchakanda world. It's not the physical world, cosmos. It is said that those who have the Panchakanda world are always affected by these 8 because they are going around the world, our Panchakanda world. You have your own Panchakanda world, I have my one. Everybody has their own Panchakanda. Sometimes personal Panchakanda world clash with other people Panchakanda world, right? Arguments, problems, right? Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vinyana clash each other. And then, okay, what are those 8? Labo, alabo, yaso, ayaso, ninda, prasansa, sukha, dukkha. What are they? Labha means gain,
profit,
alaba loss,
loss,
then yasa fame, ayasa disgrace, and ninda blame, prasansa praise, sukha pleasure, happiness, and then dukkha unhappiness. Now, imeko bhikkave atta loka dhamma lokam anupari vattanti lokocha ime atta loka dhamme anupari vattanti. Okay. So now again we see that framework of how these 8 work out. You can see these 8 worldly conditions go around the world, and the Panchakanda world goes around these 8 worldly conditions. What does it mean? May I know? I think I discussed that some time ago with you. Now we know these 8 come to us different. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are unhappy. We understand that. Then what does Buddha say by that Panchakanda worlds also go around these 8? What does it mean?
Samsara.
No.
The wheel of existence.
It means when we are affected by these 8, are we not reacting to them?
Yeah, we flutter.
When you are happy, are you reacting to happiness? When you are blamed by other people, are you reacting to that person who's blaming you? Yes. Then we are also chasing after these 8. Very interesting, right? When these 8 are going around my Panchakanda world, your Panchakanda world, you are feeling happy, feeling unhappy, right? Sometimes you are feeling elevated or well. Then, are you going to just be upekka? No, you are going to easily say, oh, I'm so happy, I'm good today, you should know, right? We are going to distribute that unhappiness or dukkha, right? Sometimes there are people who are distributing their suffering, right? Every day, morning to evening, right? There are people like that, right? So happiness. So when it says that Attaloka Dhamma Lokang Anuparivartana, 8 worldly conditions go around the Panchakanda world, and Loko cha imi Attaloka Dhammi Anuparivartana. Panchakanda worlds also go around those 8. Then Asutavato means unenlightened person. An unlearned ordinary person. Putujjanassa uppajjati labhopi alabhopi yasopi ayasopi nindapi pasansapi sukhampi dukkhampi. Right? And the unenlightened person always goes through all these 8. So also the learned noble person. Buddha also went through disgrace. How many people blame the Buddha? Right? How many things Buddha went through? Sometimes there were people who came to see the Buddha and said that you did the wrong thing and all that. So that means experiencing the 8 worldly conditions is normal to both unenlightened and enlightened people. But enlightened people respond differently. Whereas unenlightened people react easily. Now, as lay people, what you need to know is that even before you become an enlightened person, you try to respond without reacting to these 8 worldly great conditions. Let's see how it works here. We are not doing a sutta study. I just want to show you. Otherwise, this can be sutta study. I just want to show you how it works. Then you will learn more. Okay, what then is the difference between a learned noble disciple and ordinary person? How they handle this 8? Our teachings are rooted in the Buddha. He is our guide, our refuge. So may the Buddha himself please clarify the meaning of this. So they were asking the Buddha. And then says, now Buddha is picking up Labha, the first one. Labha means, what is Labha?
Profit gain.
Profit gains. Okay, I think in our daily life, we are getting gain. It's not only money, it can be anything. Gains to you, right? Then the Buddha is picking Labha and now teaching the monks how the both people react or respond. Asutavato bhikkhave putujjanassa uppajjati labho. Then, and unenlightened person goes through labha. So, na iti patisiki. So that unenlightened person does not reflect this way. Uppanno ko me ayang labho. I have gained a labha, profit. Sochako aniccho dukkho viparinama dhammo yatha bhutan appajana. The unenlightened person, normal people cannot understand that the gain, the profit that person got is impermanent. It can lead to dissatisfaction and it can lead to, the end of that particular thing. They don't truly understand that. So also the other 8 greatly conditions. And then what about the enlightened ones? You can see here. A learned noble disciple encounters gain, labha. They reflect, I have encountered, I have received a gain. This can even be a salary increase. This can even be anything that you name it in your own life. And how do they look at it? I have encountered this gain or happiness. It's impermanent. It can be changing. It can lead to dukkha. It will end one day. So this is how the both people understand. And then the Buddha is saying something very interesting here. Labho alabho cha yasayaso cha ninda pasansa cha sukhan dukkhan cha ete anicca manujesu dhamma asassata viparinama dhamma. Right? These qualities among mankind, sentient beings, are impermanent, transient, and perishable. And then ete chanyatva satima sumedo Avekkati viparinama dhamme ittassa dhamma na matenti chittang anittatono patighata meti. This enlightened person knows these things, seeing that they are changing, perishable, anicca, desirable things don't disturb their mind. No, they are repelled by the undesirable. So both favoring and opposing, likes, dislikes, are cleared and disappeared. They are no more. Knowing the stainless, sorrowless state, they who have gone beyond rebirth understand right. So that means enlightened people, they are understanding any worldly condition without being driven by likes or dislikes, right? So they are in the middle of, they are in between of those two. They have so much upekka. So when we say tadino, going back to the text here, what we need to understand is that devas are very much liking someone who have that understanding, that steadfast nature in their life. They are none other than arahants, right? So that means if you think you want to get the devas influence, devas protection, then you better be a person who is not shaken by these 8. Because every time you are happy, you think that my happiness can anytime go away from me. Even when you are going through unhappiness, you are understanding that my unhappiness is not always permanent. Now, when something happens to us, what could be the reaction that we are promoting to that thing? Let's say you were blamed by somebody. At that point, you are sad about it. How do we look at it? We think it's permanent. Huh? I will be blamed again, and again. But no, this shall pass. Right? Any unhappy stage is also supposed to be past, because that is also part of anicca. So then, arahants, they are not shaken by these 8 worldly conditions. All right. Therefore, devas admire such a person. So if you put the translation this way, one whose sense faculties are calm, like well-trained horses guided by a charioteer, who has abandoned mana, conceit, and free from taints, asava, such a steadfast person. Steadfast means someone who is not shaken by a worldly condition, is admired even by the devas. So that means whenever you are shocked, shaken by the 8 worldly conditions, devas would not approach you according to this idea, right? That means whenever you become a person who cannot be shaken, I mean, outside you might be a little down in front of others, but inside of your mental states, if you are not shaken, you know what you are supposed to do, you know how you're supposed to respond, then that motivation, that energy that you are creating within you invites unseen beings to protect you. Now you might say unseen being, is that a ghost? No, devas. Devas will help you. We are talking about devas. Because devas like such kind of people. Devas don't like the people who give up courage. There are many people who give up courage. I cannot do, I don't know, I'm the right person. It's too much for me. Devas like someone who has motivation, courage, right? Hope, right? All these are important things, right? All right, so let's go to the notes now. Before that, let me share the story. The story is about, as you can see here, Mahakachayana, Arahan Mahakachaya. Let's see here. Arahan Mahakachayana was a very familiar and very senior Arahant during the Shakyamuni Buddha's time. It is said that he was appointed by the Buddha to be the foremost monk who can when the Buddha said a Dhamma talk, like a very short, maybe Dhamma phrase, he was trying other monks to interpret what he was trying to say. But it was only Venerable Arahan Mahakachayana who could perfectly interpret, define what the Buddha really meant through that particular Pali phrase. So then he was designated as the foremost monk who can explain the deepest Dhamma that were given in short form. So Arahan Mahakachayana was a regular listener to Dhamma talk. So think about, why do Arahants listen to Dhamma talk? Very interesting, right? When someone attains Nibbana, why do they still want to listen to Dhamma talk? Right? Because for many people in today's world, Dhamma talk, Sila, everything will happen until they attain Nibbana. Normally, although they are not making good karma, there is no next life for them, but still their nature is into the same life that they have been into before. So it is said that when the Buddha stayed in the temple called Pubbarama, this temple, this Pubbarama was built by Vishaka, and Buddha used to give Dhamma talks, and time to time, the god Sakka, the lady Sakka, used to come to listen to these Dhamma talks. So one day, when the Sakka came, Sakka noticed that Arahan Mahakachayana's seat is vacant. So he understood that Arahan Mahakachayana is not present here. So he thought, what if Arahan Mahakachayana is to come here and then take a seat and then listen to Dhamma talk with us? At that moment, in a moment of time, it is said that Arahan Mahakachayana came to the place and then he sat down, and then Sakka, the good Sakka, was very happy, and then he was giving lots of respect to him at that point. Then the other monks were not really happy about it. Why do you only respect one monk in a temple, especially ordinary monks? And why do you only respect Arahan Mahakachayana? The god Sakka could not explain why he is doing that. But later on, the Buddha explained to them, it is because that devas have a cherry picking with regard to certain monks and nuns. Normally, when you go to a temple, you respect the hierarchical Sangha nature, right? The head monk, chief monk, right? The devotees, that is our nature, right? But with regard to the devas sometimes don't follow that. They follow the virtues, the good qualities of certain Sangha members, right? So then other monks were not happy, but the Buddha then said, no, you don't have to be unhappy about it, because it was truly because of Arahan Mahakachayana's qualities that admired, that interested in the devas, specifically god Sakka. So that was what happened. And then when the Buddha said Arahan Mahakachayana, Arahan Mahakachayana was this and that, then the other monks could understand what went through. Arahan Mahakachayana has many stories in the Buddhist text. Do you remember one story we studied in the Dhammapada series already? In the previous OPRC class? Could you remember 43, stanza 43? That could be probably maybe 40 days ago. Almost maybe last year, somewhere in last year, we discussed about Arahan Mahakachayana. There was a banker who was seeing Arahan Mahakachayana was walking, got a very bad, unwholesome thought. Remember the story? And then right away he became his the gender got changed, right? Because Arahan Mahakachayana means golden color. And there's another story in the text where we understand that one of the King Ajasakta's ministers, I think Vasakara, he made a very sarcastic claim about Arahan Mahakachayana. He said, when he was seeing Arahan Mahakachayana was descending from a mountain, he said, Arahan Mahakachayana is descending the mountain just like a monkey. Then the Buddha said, you should apologize from him. Otherwise, you would be reborn as a monkey. And what happened? He did not apologize. Vasakara was reborn as a monkey. That's why it's very, very dangerous to be sarcastic about other people using animals. Huh? You will become that animal. So you might be thinking, what was led him to be short of couple words, monk and monkey? Why he picked up a monkey for that, I think he was totally absent-minded about it. Why he made that? Buddha said this is a very bad thing because he's an arahant. But he did not. So that story is also about Arahan Mahakachayana. So now we understand that Arahan Mahakachayana was a very prominent figure, and his nature even attracted the Bodhisattva. Okay, let's go to the notes now, this point, that we can have the discussion later. Okay. Right. Why the Sakka ignored Sangha rank and waited for 1 month. The first point that we are discussing is sense restraint, which is called Indriya Samvara, is wise guidance, not repression. The simile of well-trained horses guided by a skilled charioteer makes it clear that the Buddha does not promote shutting down the senses or fearing sense experience. So we're going to look at Majjhima Nikaya's 152 Sutta, which is Indriya Bhavana Sutta a little bit. Seeing, hearing, and thinking continue to function fully, but they are guided by right mindfulness wisdom, rather than driven by craving or aversion. When the senses are unguarded, they habitually pull the mind thoughts outward towards stimulation and reaction, because we need response. When trained, however, they become cooperative faculties, supporting calm, clarity, and progress on the path to liberation. Let's take a look at our Indriya Bhavana Sutta. Let's click on this hyperlink. It will take us to Indriya Bhavana Sutta. In this sutta, whenever you have a chance, please read this sutta. You can see a young man called Uttara approaches the Buddha, and then the Buddha is asking about his teacher, Parasariya. How does Parasariya teach his disciples, including you, about the development of the faculties, Indriya? Deseti Uttara Para Sibio Brahmano Savakana Indriya Bhavana. Then let's see the English part, because you might not be very much familiar with the Pali here. Okay. It is when Uttara is answering the Buddha, it is when the eye sees no sight and the ear hears no sound. That is how Parasariya, our teacher, teaches his disciples the development of the faculties. Then the Buddha is kind of mocking. In that case, Uttara, a blind person and a deaf person will have developed faculties. Right? So what does it mean? Whenever you are going through agreeable, favorable, happy sights, unhappy sights, you don't need to shut down your senses. You just look at them, right? But what you need to do is coming up later. This is what the Buddha is teaching later. For a blind person sees no sight with the eye, and a deaf person hears no sound with the ear. When he said that, this Uttara sat silent, dismayed, shoulders drooping, downcast, depressed, and nothing to say. Then the Buddha is teaching Ananda, Venerable Ananda. Knowing this, the Buddha addressed Venerable Ananda. Ananda, the development of the faculties taught by Parasari is quite different from the supreme development of faculties in the training of the noble one. Let's see in short here. Okay. When a mendicant, anybody, sees a sight, rupa, with their eyes, in them arises what is agreeable, disagreeable. May I know what is agreeable here and disagreeable?
Pleasant. Pleasant.
A pleasant sight. Disagreeable means unpleasant sight.
Unpleasant.
Sometimes what is both agreeable and disagreeable. Have you gone through that kind of sight? 50% good, 50% bad. Any example? No example.
Average.
Sometimes the sights or anything like that, partly good, partly not good. Right? There are a lot of objects like that we go through in our daily life. So there are three ways of experiencing any sense faculty, especially with regard to their objects. Then the Buddha teaches the way, the better way to, the best way to go through that experience. What is agreeable, disagreeable, what is both disagreeable and agreeable, disagreeable have arisen in me. So we have to think that this is interesting. This is the part. Let me make it a little bit small. That is conditioned, crude, dependently originated. This is what the Buddha asks us to think. Tanchako sankata. Any sight, any sound, any smell, any taste, any touch, any thought is conditioned. And olarikang, crude. They are not refined, right? Crude. Why they are not refined? Most of the objects that are coming to us are very much crude. So we take it as it is. If we are trying to refine it, then we understand the reality. Oftentimes we don't do that. So we get trapped. Right? Now think about it. If you have a sugar craving, rasa, right? It's a sugar craving. And then when the certain particular product that you are going to eat comes to you in an event somewhere, maybe as a free dessert, maybe as a dessert, maybe in a friend's place, do you try to look at it from a refined version? Or you look at it as a very crude version? Oh, it's a dessert. I have to enjoy it. Right? This doesn't mean that you cannot have a dessert. When it becomes a sugar craving. That's why when we can understand the objects a little bit objectively, then it will become refined, not crude. So, how to practice sense restraint, Indriya Samvara? Number one is we have to understand any sensory experience is based on sankata. Sankata means, what is sankata? I'll show you again.
Condition.
Sankata, condition.
Condition.
They are conditioned. Because we are not seeing deconditioned states. We are always seeing conditioned ones. It was conditioned by somebody for 4 elements, 5 aggregates, right? We have to always treat any sensory experience as conditioned. Second, crude. They are olar, they are not refined. And more importantly, they are dependently originated. Paticca samuppanna. If so, etang santang, etang panitang, yadidang upekkati. But this is peaceful, sublime, namely equanimity. This is how you approach equanimity, upekka. In order for you to apply upekka into your sensory experience, you need to make every sensory experience to be conditioned, crude, and dependently originated. You can see the Buddha is teaching all those sensory experiences in the same way and telling us a very interesting point. What is it? You can see it's down there. You can see Ayang Bucchatananda Ariyassa Vine Anuttara Indriya Bhavana. Anuttara Indriya Bhavana. That means we have a meditation about sense restraint. Then the Buddha is saying, this is the, you can see here, in the training of the noble ones, our spiritual practice, this is called the supreme development of the faculties regarding ideas known by the mind. So please give a read to this sutta whenever you get a chance. So overall, what we need to understand is that the Buddha asks us not to shut down, not to close our eyes, not to close our any other sense faculties when we are going through any sensory experience. Then the Buddha asks us to understand what is agreeable, likable, what is not likable, what is both likable and not likable. And then the Buddha asks us to bring the most important sense restraint practice into that particular likable thing or not likable or both likable, not likable thing. What is it? We have to treat that every sensory experience, be that the sight, be that the sound, smell, taste, touch, thought, they all are sankata. They all are conditioned. They all carry not a refined experience, they all carry a crude experience. And more importantly, they all are dependently arisen. Paticca samuppanna. That is the moment that upekka will kick in. A lot of people are trying to practice upekka. How do they practice upekka? Okay, I should not be happy, I should not be unhappy, so I have upekka. Upekka won't come to you that way. It is just an instant dharma hit. Upekka will arise only when you bring in this understanding into your sensory experience that you are concerned about. Think about, you are highly complimented by somebody, right? You're so happy. At that point, have you ever thought that this particular happiness is sankata, condition? And then olarika, truth, and then patisamuppanna, dependently arisen. Then I would not shrug off. I would not be so much proud about it. But I accept it. This is an achievement. But I know this was sankata, condition, crude, and then patisam, dependently arisen. That is how upekka will arise in our life. Okay. So now we go back to the first point. So sense restraint is wise guidance. That means you cannot repress, you cannot suppress your sense desires and then to have the upekka. You have to follow the Indriya Bhavana Sutra's guidance. That's number one. Number two, inner cultivation speaks louder than visibility or proximity. Although Arahant Mahakachayana lived far away, he was living in Avanti, his hometown, was not always physically present among the Sangha. His depth of practice made him immediately recognizable, even anticipated by Sakka. The story reminds us that spiritual presence is not measured by how often one is seen, how central one's position is, or how close one resides, but by how deeply one's mind has been transformed through sustained cultivation. Sustained cultivation. Not only cultivation. What do we mean by sustained cultivation? You have a consistency, right? Your consistency is good. And your practice is consistent. Not that 1 week you are doing, another week you are not doing, right? It is consistent. Constant and consistent. I will say constant, consistent, innovative practice. It's the best practice. You might be far away. Just like our Kalyana Mittas here, right? OPRC students, they are coming from different places, right? Different countries sometimes, right? What brought us all together? Sustained cultivation. Not cultivation only. Sustained. We are managing it all the time. It needs courage and all that. So Arahant Mahakachayana was full of sustained cultivation, although it was his nature, that attracted even the god Sangha. Number three, true humility, pahinamana, is effortless and unperformed. Arahant Mahakachayana did not attempt to appear humble, nor did he manage his image. He simply lacked conceit, because he's an Arahant. The verse highlights the abandoning of mana, a subtle habit of comparison and self-measurement. When pride dissolves at its root, humility no longer needs to be practiced or displayed. It becomes the natural tone of one's presence, free from self-confidence. As we discuss about mana, what we need to understand, there are healthy ways to look at mana aspects, but not mana itself. So how to healthily look at thinking greater aspects of us and equalizing, or some other ways where we have to improve ourselves. There are good aspects about these three things, but the unwholesome nature takes us into mana. So he was very humble about his life. That is why he was very much attracted by Deva. Purity is psychological freedom, not moral display. We discuss about Asava side. Devas recognize Dhamma realization beyond human conventions. Humans can only know hierarchy and all that, but Devas, they can know more than hierarchy, right? Inner qualities of different beings. So if you are really practicing at least, a lot of these things, you have the attraction with the Devas. Normally, how do people attract the Devas? They want to offer things, they offer things here and there. They think Devas will come, right? That is the ritualistic way. But in Buddhism, Devas don't attract objects. The more you put, the more Devas come, right? People think that way, right? Normally in ritualistic culture, the more offerings you put, the more Devas will appear. The Devas cannot find offerings anywhere else. Right? No. The more wholesome you become, the more Devas would attract to you. That's what this stanza says. All right, and then 6, Tadi, we discuss about it. Stability, that means not being shaken by eight worldly conditions, makes one naturally dear to others. Please read this sutta too, which we discussed earlier. Guarding the senses is an act of communal responsibility. Now, this is very interesting. The Buddha's explanation shows that sense restraint is not merely a personal ascetic discipline. A monk, nun who guards the senses protect the harmony of the Sangha, reducing rivalry, resentment, distraction, comparison. Inner discipline thus becomes social harmony, benefiting not only the practitioner, but the entire community. Now, when you work with Sangha members, when you work with the temple people, you have to be very much conscious about your sense restraint, right? How you talk to other people, how you act, how you do things, because it is not only your personal self-restraint, because it can lead to the harmony of other people. But if there is someone who is not calm about their mouth, there's a devotee who is always talking, gossiping everywhere, even in a temple, what could happen? Could that lead to certain problems in the community? That spiritual community? It could be, right? That's why it's very important to be mindful about our actions, our thoughts, and then our speech, especially our speech. That can reduce unnecessary issues that can happen. Quiet consistency leaves a deep spiritual imprint. This is what we understand from